Good Monday morning, awesome youth leaders. I hope you're having a fantastic day so far. Today's video is going to be just a smidge longer than 5 minutes because I want to do two things with it. One, I want to tell you about what we're doing this upcoming Wednesday night, and I want to fill in anyone who wasn't able to make our leaders meeting yesterday with what's coming up this year, okay? Because basically, man, I wanted to meet with everybody at the beginning of the year so that I could set the tone, kind of give you some direction, and I wanted to paint some clear targets on the wall that we will be aiming for this year. Just like I talked about last Wednesday, man, if we don't have a clear target, if we don't know where we're going, then we will 100% get there. Well, I want to have clear targets on the wall of where we're headed as a youth ministry and how we are going to get there. So I want to go through just very quickly some of the notes from yesterday. From our leaders meeting, just in case anybody wasn't able to be there. And I'm also going to attach the handout that I gave out yesterday because it's got some important dates on it for you to know about. But the first and most important thing is our focus for 2020 will be connection with every student who enters into our building. Man, I know that lives are changed when people are connected. In fact, the students, think about it in your own small group. The students that are well connected, that don't miss anything, that are always there, it's because they are connected to someone. And probably more than likely, multiple more than someone's. Now, the inverse is also true. Think about any students that, man, they come every, once in a blue moon, they come for an event. Man, the truth is probably they're not really connected to many people or anyone, and we may not even notice when they're gone. Man, I want that to change in 2020. I want us to be connected to every student. And so, how do we do that? Why are we doing that? Because we as the leaders, we may be the vessel that God is going to use. I would love to say that I connect with every student on a Wednesday. I don't. I'd love to tell you that my message is the one thing that's going to bring them all to Christ. It's not. It's not. Truthfully, you may be the youth pastor that a student, the only youth pastor that a student has. I may never get a chance to sit down and have a conversation with a student that's in your group, but you're going to have a chance each and every week. Man, I want to make that time count. God's greatest influencers for making an impact in His kingdom are His people. That's you. I mean, you are the one who can make a difference. That's why I want our connections to be so important and valuable this year. So how will we do that? One, I want to make sure that every student gets connected to a person. Here's what that means for us as leaders. I mean, we have to be on the lookout for every student. Now, I know it's easy to be in the mindset of, man, I have to accomplish this task or I need to stand right here. I want it to make it our goal for us to connect with every student, whether they're in your group or not. And, again, I connect with guys and girls alike. Every single student that walks into our building, I want us to all reach out to them. The last thing I want a student to be able to say is nobody talked to me, nobody tried, nobody reached out to me, nobody sat with me. I want that to be thrown out of any student's vocabulary. If a parent comes up to me and says, man, hey, my son's I'm having trouble connecting. Man, I want to be able to say that's impossible because we've been connecting with them each and every week. I sent 43 leaders over there to sit with them on Wednesday night. I made sure that our student leaders went over there and we're talking to them. We need to make sure that students get connected to a person. This is going to include making some changes to our follow-up system. In fact, this Wednesday, instead of having your broken down leaders folders, we're going to have binders that are a little bit more put together. And on those binders, there's going to be a few things. One, there's going to be a new space for you to write down any prayer requests. I want us to share prayer requests. There's going to be stuff that maybe I and a lot of our other leaders don't even know is going on in a student's life just because, man, we've not heard about it. So I want us to share any prayer requests that students share, as well as keep track of any events. Man, so there'll be a place to write on there, Keely's got a test tomorrow. Wyatt's going to be going on a field trip. Dennis has to do this, that, and the other. Man, I want us to remember, man, Nick's birthday was on Sunday. Totally forgot. Man, I want us to remember that stuff. Man, when we take that one extra step to care for a student, I guarantee you it will pay dividends whenever it comes to that relationship and whenever we need to talk with them about something important because we cared. One thing that I am going to ask all of our leaders to do is start connecting with students outside of our youth ministry, and here's why, and this is one of the second points. Engaging with students outside of our services will amplify your influence in service. When we connect with those students, Man, first-time guests. Man, we're going to send you a list on Thursdays with our new follow-up system, a list that says, man, hey, here's where the guests in your group. Sometimes you may not even know. I don't even know some of our guests. There's plenty of times where I've seen them at a school, I've gone to an FCA, and I think that they've been here for a long time. I didn't realize that they were guests. Man, we're going to get lists for each and every group that you can just call, man, hey, here's the 2 guests. Hey, here was a guest last night. Reach out to them. Make sure that they enjoyed it. See if they had any questions and just connect with them. The other thing has been reaching out to any students who've missed 3 weeks or more. Man, if all of our small group leaders called all of the students that were gone for 3 weeks or more, it would mean you probably call 3 students a week. And here's what I know. I know I hate talking on the phone. I know, and you know, your students hate talking on the phone. They do, but here's the deal. Every time they get a phone call, they're going to know that it's important. They may hate talking on the phone. They may be awkward turtles, and I guarantee you that phone call will last like 45 seconds max, even if you actually talk to them personally. But I know that those phone calls will make a difference. When we reach out and we give them a personal touch, a personal connection, man, that connection will last. It will make a difference, and it will amplify what you do in your small group when you connect with them outside of them. The last thing, or the third thing that we were talking about was making our 1.5 hours count. And man, and I said this a couple youth leaders videos ago in December. Man, I want us to hang up and hang out. Man, hang up all the distractions, whether it's our phone, our friends. Man, our students are the most important. There's 168 hours in a week, and we have our students for an hour and a half. And we have to make that hour and a half make an eternal impact in their life. Well, man, that's hard for me to do when I'm getting texts and I'm not paying attention. Man, I want us to be zoned in. So let's hang up all the distractions and hang out with a student. If we see a student sitting by themselves, man, they should never, ever sit by themselves ever again. Man, we're going to go and sit by them. Man, if we see a student who's struggling to connect, who's sneaking in and out, who's running out, man, we're going to sit down. We're going to talk with them. Man, let's connect with them. Let's find the students who are eating dinner all by themselves before service. Man, let's sit down and have dinner with them. The last thing is this. Man, if I love Jesus my best, Jesus will rub off on them. I want you to know that I value your spiritual health. I mean, you as a leader, what you are doing, your walk with Jesus is just as important as our students, and possibly even more so. And here's why. Because you're leading students that I may never get a chance to, and any of our other leaders may never get a chance to. You may be the youth pastor that they get. Man, and I want you to know that the more Jesus you have inside of you, the easier it is to reach out and impact those students. It's hard to lead from an empty cup. Man, it's hard. It's way easier to lead when our cup is full and we can pour out into those that are around us. Man, so I want us to focus on our spiritual walks, on worshiping, growing, and serving. Because if we do those things, we will be growing no matter the circumstances in our life. So, having said all those things, I want to give you some of the goals, the big goals for our youth ministry as a whole. Number one, man, I want to see us have 200 students on a Wednesday night. Now, truthfully, you might be like, dude, that's crazy, because we had 108 this past Wednesday, which was awesome, by the way. But Brady, that's double what we had Wednesday. Yeah, it is. But here's what I've realized. We have almost 200 students just on our rosters alone. If we reached out to all of those students and got them to come, 200 would be easy. I want to take 200 students to camp. That's our second goal. Man, of anything that we do throughout the year, camp is the most important. I got saved at camp. I see the value in it, and I see lives changed each and every year. Camp is important, and I want to take more students than ever before. Now, here's the other part of taking more students to camp. I need more leaders to come to camp with us. I mean, we're going to take a record number of students to camp this year. I need a record number of leaders who are willing to come with us, and truthfully, I promise you, your time will be well spent. There's going to be mandatory nap time at camp this year, guys. That's phenomenal. It costs you nothing except for your time, but I promise it will be a week you won't quickly forget. It is an incredible time with students. Not only that, but then I want to see 25 youth salvations. Now, in years past, and you've probably seen this, man, we typically count the hands that go up whenever we do a salvation altar call. Man, and that's awesome because we know that, man, lives are changed when people are willing to stand up and admit it in front of people. Man, they raise their hand, they pray that prayer. Man, that's an amazing moment, but we want to take it a step further as a church. You've seen the cross sitting on stage and Pastor Jamie talking about the blocks that we're going to write every person's name down. Here's what that means for us. Man, we have to know who said that, and we want to take care of them. I don't just want a student to raise their hand and then that's the end of it. And we hope that they know how to read the Bible. We hope that they get plugged into your small group. We hope that they continue coming to our church. I want to know, man, that we've done all that we can, that we've connected with them, that we've given them a support system, a foundation to walk forward. Just kind of like we're doing with our adult foundations class, we're going to do the same over the next few weeks, coming up with ways that we can connect with those students, Bibles that we can give them, ways that we can reach out to them right before they get into small groups and say, hey, I saw you raise your hand. Man, we just want to connect with you and help you start this journey. Man, I want to see 25 salvations and then 25 baptisms. Man, we believe it's important to not only, when you get saved, to make a public declaration to those that are around you of what Jesus has done in your life by getting baptized. Man, these are the most important things. These are going to be the targets on the wall that we are going to be shooting for because I believe that God has more in store than what we've seen. Man, just like we said last week in service, man, I know that last year we had record-breaking nights of all shapes and sizes, and camp was incredible. Man, we had students speak for 8 weeks after we got back. That's amazing. But that's not the best that God has. God has even more this year. Man, I want to see students' lives changed more than we ever have before. So, man, those are some of the goals. I'm going to post the rest of all the information from that sheet that we handed out on the email that you're getting ready to get. Lastly, for this Wednesday night, we're going to be joining in. This is going to be the beginning of us joining in with our church fast. I'm going to challenge our students over the next 3 Wednesdays. So from this Wednesday to the next 2 to fast with our church. We're going to talk about what fasting is. Man, we're going to talk about why fasting works and what it helps us do. And then next week, Mr. Richard Robertson is going to be speaking on how to hear God's voice. This week is going to be focused on getting rid of distractions. Man, getting rid of the things that, man, consume our mind, that cloud our judgment, that kind of make it difficult for us to hear God's voice. Then next week, we're going to hear what can we do to hear God's voice more clearly. So this week, man, I want to challenge you. Come up with ideas of ways that your students can fast, things that they can fast that might be beneficial for them. There are food fasts, man, that you can do, whole food fasts where you don't eat at all. Man, there's fasts where you can not eat while the sun is up. So you can eat breakfast early in the morning and then eat late at night. You can do a Daniel fast that's only fruits and vegetables. Man, but let's challenge our students to do anything. Giving up sweets, that counts. Man, giving up their phone, that counts. Man, that's going to be one of my fasts. I spend far too much time on this. When I get home, there's way too many nights that I spend hours on that watching stupid videos. Our students do the same thing. Man, let's challenge them to fast something, but give that time, give that energy that they're putting towards something, towards their relationship with God, because I know God will come through and He will speak to them. He will do incredible things in their life if they would only get rid of the distractions that are keeping His voice out. So that will be what we're talking about this week. I hope you had an awesome weekend, and I can't wait to see your awesome face Wednesday night at 6 o'clock at our leaders meeting. One final thing that's really important. If you are able, this Sunday night from 5:30 till 8:30 is our Speed the Light rally at our church. We're hosting it. This year it's going to be bigger than ever before. We're going to have inflatables and free food for everyone, free pizza. But I need all the adult leaders that I can to help us with that. There's a chance we could have over 300 students in our building. Man, we want to be there to take care of them, do first impressions, have greeters. And we want people to be greeting them in the lobbies, making sure that they don't get shivved on the inflatables or anything. So please, if you are able, come and join us. It'll be a fun night. There'll be a ton of students that we get to hang out with, but come and join us. You'll get free food. We'll also have free childcare for all of our leaders' kids that are there. That is all the things that I can think of, and I know that this video has gone way longer than normal. I appreciate you watching the whole thing. Have an awesome, awesome week, and I will see you Wednesday at our leaders meeting.